morning. Welcome into the stream. It is Thursday, February 26th. We have a lot happening today. We have roughly, I think, 9 or 10 NHL games, 10 NBA games. So, it's always a busy day when we have a lot going on with the NBA, but then add in another massive slate of games for the NHL. And we're going to be looking for a lot of NHL goal scorers on this evening stream tonight, too, because that's been something that yesterday got off to a hot start. But we're going to start out with some DFS, look at some more mainline markets this morning, kind of see what's up. So let me kind of get started. Right, I already have the EV tool pulled up with PrizePicks right now, and we're going to look to cook up some slips this morning. If you guys were on the evening stream yesterday, we had a very strong stream with profitable DFS slips, PrizePicks, dabble, parlay play. It was definitely a good day. Wilbo, what's going on? Irish, what's up, man? Not much, man. What's up? So let me refresh this page and see what we got going on here. Starting off PrizePicks. Looks like for Pinnacle right now. Again, guys, pretty simple setup. Player props, Pinnacle, power. Just looking at PrizePicks. Jesper Bratt is the only play right now that has, any kind of edge. So we'll add him. Let me throw this up for the NHL. Bratt to get a point tonight against my Penguins, which, no Sid. I don't know what I'm going to do. Let's go over to FanDuel, see if we got any options for FanDuel for PrizePicks. I like this con play. Yeah, 2.5% edge here. Rebounds and assists, 8.5. But we don't really have a third leg. We'll take a look at the sharp money tool, see if we have anything there. Con, 8.5. Rebounds and assists. All right, and let's look at the sharp money tool. Just getting guys going today. Markets. Let's for sports books. Let me bring this down so I can look for PrizePicks. See what's up. Klingon over on his points and rebounds. Someone wants this for about $800 at -120. We can get this at FanDuel -120. Not really a great price because I'm putting together a 3-pick slip at -122. Came so close yesterday on PrizePicks to going 6 for 6. One leg away. Doubled our money, but still it stunk. Sound James, somebody wants this at -135. Grant Williams. I can't say I'm in love with what I see from the sharp money tool. The other thing I'd like to do is, this Benedict Mathurin play just doesn't really have the edge, is go through the other sharp books to see if we can find anything else. And at the moment, we don't, which is fine. So that's all right. We're going to go ahead. I will add in a third leg, and I'll share this with you guys here in just a second. All right, this is going to be perfect. Finally found it. There we go. All right. All right, so I'm going to share this 3-pick slip here with you guys. Again, no insurance on these picks. All 3 need to hit. All overs. What's going on, Golden Goat? 49ers for life. What's going on? All right, 3-pick slip on PrizePicks there. Again, normally for DFS, not looking to rock too many DFS slips this early in the morning. But as I mentioned, if this is your only time of the day where you're able to either, create some DFS slips, then obviously, you're in the right spot. All right, 2-pick slips. 3 picks, we can add it, but really 2 picks, guys, it's just a clear edge with pricing. Again, Jesper Bratt to score a point. This is over on Underdog. If you wanted less variance, I would take this instead, right, where we're going after Bratt, and then we're going after Canas. 2-pick slips are going to have less variance than, 3-pick slips. So we're looking at the over 11.5 games won. And then again, we're looking for him to secure a point. So the 3.5x payout, I can only play $25 is the max. But I'm going to go back to the well with this one. And there's that 2-pick slip on underdog for those of you that wanted to play an underdog slip. Or maybe, your PrizePicks slip's limited to $5, but you can get more down on underdog. This would be an option as well. And obviously, a limited underdog account's better, in my opinion, than a limited PrizePicks account. PrizePicks will only let you play $5 slips. If I got limited on both, I would just start firing off probably 5- and 6-pick slips on PrizePicks, but still probably would rock, 2- and 3-pick slips on underdog. Now, outside of underdog, if we wanted to go to FanDuel to see what the options are, a little bit better options. Really, it's just Nikolai Ehlers, under 2.5 shots. Now, Pinnacle is the book that I lean on more towards as a sharp for NHL. I don't really use FanDuel much, so I would say there's a big difference here for me. But again, early on in the morning, Pinnacle's only taking about $250. It's not a ton, right? So yeah, I don't know how much confidence I have in this Nikolai Ehlers play. Let's go take a look at better. The one book that yesterday we didn't cash at all on. Yeah, Irish, not bad. They're obviously playing some good ball. I would say, 3 teams that I would think of to do that for would be the Spurs, the Pistons, or the Thunder. I know the Thunder haven't really been healthy at all, but, they're going to be there. They're going to be there with their guys are going to come back when it's time. SGA and Jalen, and the hamstring thing with Jalen's a little concerning because he re-aggravated it, and then obviously with Chet. But yeah, I don't mind that with the Pistons. Nice to see the Pistons into it, and then obviously the Spurs. Now we got some Spurs were kind of back, kind of like the Patriots. All of a sudden Spurs were kind of out of it for a few longer years than maybe the Patriots, but still now the Spurs are back. On better guys, I'm not really crazy about obviously the Ehlers play. Let's go over to FanDuel or Pinnacle to see if we have any better options on better. You could go back to Bratt again if you wanted to. Barlow, okay. Edgecombe, all right. And then let's see what the discounts are over on better today. They haven't dropped them yet. Or I'm just up too early. We got Norman Powell and Kawhi Leonard for like a real big extra payout boost. Okay. So in this case, I'm probably not going to cook up a better slip because I'm just going to wait until they drop their discounts. But if you wanted to, if you haven't, if you don't have underdog, you don't have PrizePicks, you have better Bratt, Barlow, Edgecombe. That sounds good to me. If you think the FanDuel sharp on NHL player props, add the under 2.5 shots on goal for Nikolai Ehlers. Add that with Bratt. Add that with Barlow. Yeah, I figured that, Irish. Yeah, if you're looking for like a sneaky play that isn't the Thunder, Pistons, Spurs, I'm cool with that. I'm trying to think maybe who else. In the East, the Knicks, if you believe in the Knicks, and really, guys, I'm not an anti-anybody team on this. Yeah, and then, I would say if you wanted to go with the Cavs, it just depends on how severe you think this Harden thumb injury is. I know he played, yesterday? I didn't look at his stat line yesterday. They ended up losing, but they had a lot of guys out. Never mind. No, he didn't play yesterday. Sorry. I thought he did. Looked like it was, but then I missed it. But shout out to Jared Allen for getting double-double and helping us cash that parlay play slip. So, just depends on how severe you think that injury is for Harden if you were looking to take the Cavs. All right, we're going to throw the rest of these in here. A little parlay play, a little dabble, a little DraftKings pick 6. Yeah, we're good to go. Okay, let's take a look. Let me get rid of better here. Forgot about that. There we go. Okay, dabble. There's kind of a consensus here about Jesper Bratt. But Cooch, deviating to Pinnacle. For parlay play, just the BAM play I'm really interested in. Again, it's early in the morning here, guys. for when I come back on the stream tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern, trust me, with 10 NBA games and so many NHL games, there's going to be a lot of slips that we're going to be making. A lot of slips. So I say that in jest because I'm not going to then force a slip here on parlay play if this Panarin play barely has an edge. Like, it's not one of those days where there's like 3 NBA games and we're like, all right, well, like maybe we'll try one. Like, this is the type of day where you just want to take really, really good, solid plays. So I'm just not going to force this one. No need to. But if you guys are just waking up or tuning in with me this morning, welcome in. Nice to be back on in a morning stream, and we have a lot to jump into today. I've mentioned this in prior streams. I mentioned this like a week or two ago for the NBA All-Star break. I'll mention this right now for Major League Baseball, guys. Spring training is in full swing. Baseball season is about a month away, okay? Start looking at your bets for baseball, previous seasons. How'd you do on pitcher strikeouts? How'd you do on maybe player RBIs, player hits, player total bases, first half total runs, run lines, money lines? How'd you do on baseball? Okay? You do not want to try to figure all of this out. If you've been using OddsJam for a previous year or another software that you have your bets exported or Pickett, you don't want to wait until April 1st to try to figure out where am I doing well at in baseball. You want to know this going into the season because there is no doubt about it, guys. The first 40 games of the Major League Baseball season is the easiest time to make money. Not even close. It's compared to the beginning of the season or the end of the season, always the beginning of the season is the easiest. So you definitely want to have a game plan going in. Might be able to get something maybe on Dabble. Yeah, I don't want to really have to go back to Jesper Braut. Like, I'm fine with putting him on 2 slips. So, I say all that just so that you guys are starting to think about baseball. I know we're still on NBA and NHL, but like baseball's a coming. What do we got here? Main markets, player props. What do we got? Select all. All right, let's see what we got for the Sharp Money tool. Sharp Money tool, ooh, we got some NHL moneyline plays. Kind of a common theme with all these NHL moneyline plays, guys. Plus 138, plus 140, plus 138. By the way, let me double check the Ducks game. But, paper trading yesterday, those player block shots in the NHL would have, there we go, Irish. Love to hear that. You're 4-2. Moneyline plays I've noticed are very good if you devig to Pinnacle. If you would have took those player block shots that we saw a number of dollars put up, yeah, you would have done very well yesterday. And it was just 1 day sample size, but I was looking at the Ducks players. Gudas Lacombe only had 1. It would have been very, very good. Melissa, what markets do you recommend for those that this is your first time that you're betting for the MLB? Great question. So, I'm always going to lean more towards main markets, just in general for any sport. Main markets over player props because of liquidity and popularity. And if you can find plays with an edge, you want to check those out. Now, if you're someone that's a little bit deeper into baseball, the first half money line, the first 5 markets, first 5 money line, first 5 run lines, first 5 totals, are always a great market or great markets to attack because typically, you're only focused on the starting pitcher. And so I like to bet first 5 markets because of the starting pitching matchups. And if it's a bullpen day, because, nowadays, guys, some teams, certain days of the week, they have a bullpen game. Don't bet the first 5 markets on a bullpen game. Just avoid it, right? But if you know that you got my boy Skeens up there on the bump or Skubal on the bump, you got 2 solid pitchers. Really great. I love betting the first 5 unders when the aces are on the mound. Doesn't always work out for you, but, for the very elite pitchers, you got a pretty good thing going on. If you got like Zach Wheeler against Skeens, I love betting the first half unders. So take a look. Don't sleep on the first half markets. For player props, last year we had immense success betting betting pitcher strikeouts and player home runs, and especially player home runs. And I would say that player home runs is a lot like betting the NHL anytime goal scorers. The difference, though, is the variance is a little higher on home runs than NHL goal scorers. You know, a Nathan McKinnon, a Kirill Kaprizov in the NHL, you might find at like a plus 105 to like a plus 150. For a guy to hit a home run in a plus 150 to plus 200 range, it's pretty much Ohtani or Judge. Outside of that, you know, maybe Schwarber. Schwarber, though, lives in like the low plus 200s. So if you're betting anytime home runs, you're going to naturally see higher numbers compared to NHL goal scorers. So if you want to see less variance, bet NHL goal scorers. For baseball, you're going to see that, though, with when it comes to player home runs. And typically, you know, the Cambies of the world, the Bet365s, they're going to offer you the softest lines for home runs. So that's kind of the rise and the fall. If others in the chat here, again, the chat's open up for everybody, guys. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to be an OGD Gen. Morning chats, guys, are open for anyone. So just who wants to support and watch the stream. You know, love to hear from you guys if you found that maybe player hits, runs, and RBIs worked out really well for you, or player doubles or player singles. You know, when we're talking about like pitcher outs recorded, you need to pay attention to the manager and the pitcher. And, you know, the manager in terms of how long of a leash they will let a pitcher go out and throw, right? So, you know, pitcher outs recorded. And why I mention that is because you're going to see a lot of sports books hang that like 5 1/3, 5 2/3 inning, basically between 5 innings to 6 innings. That's where the line's going to live for a lot of pitchers. And depending on, you know, obviously the situation in the game, and then really dependent on, maybe Stony Brook and Monmouth, dependent on then like the actual pitcher and their pitch count. There's going to be a lot of factors at play when it comes to that market. And I think that that's a market that shows positive EV for pregame betting. But really, you need to start thinking about like, oh, yeah, there's some other factors at play that I think go into it a little bit more than just like, oh, should we take this play because it's really, really good. Okay, so I'm going to take this play over on Monmouth and Stony Brook. There's only $10 out here right now. But I'm just going to grab that right now over on Bet Openly. Shout out to Bet Openly. It's only $10, but I'm going to grab this because plus 100 odds, it's 14 cents off the Pinnacle. So I like that. So I just got that for $10. Again, I'm really paying minus 102 odds if this play wins. But I love it. Stony Brook and Monmouth. If you wanted to, a little higher of an over, but you could get this over at Fanatics as well. A couple other spots here. Someone has about $4,600 on this. By the way, if you guys, I don't know how viable the strategy is, but I believed on the stream last night there was something to it. If you watched closely on last night's stream, there was a play that popped up on the OddsJam Plus EV tool for Loyola, Maryland at plus 6.5 on Poly Market, and there was $235,000 that someone wanted you to bet. So when we opened up that play, we saw that Navy minus 6.5, right? If someone wants you to bet Loyola, Maryland at plus 6.5, that means they want Navy at minus 6.5. And they put up $235,000. So what I noticed on that stream was that Navy minus 6.5, all the books were like a minus 110. So this person didn't really want a crazy price. So Navy ended up winning by 27 yesterday. And I bet him for $200 on BetMania because that was what I could get in my max in with. But just something there, guys. Whenever you see like a crazy amount of money, now $235,000 is a lot different than $4,600. See a crazy amount of money, and then you're like, well, what does this person want this play at? Oh, they want this over at minus 114. Oh, well, that's not crazy at all. Maybe we should bet this over. So I went over and bet this over on Bet Openly. But again, these are little things that I like to look for, guys. Not just on the Sharp Money tool, but also on the Positive EV tool, right? Like I found that play on the Plus EV tool. So, and for college basketball, just for $235,000 period for pretty much almost any market is pretty insane. So, Mark Williams rebounds. Again, this early in the morning, guys, I really like to. I'm going to have some player props pulled up for those that like to bet. I like to look at mainline markets. This is the best time to beat mainline markets, other than like last night when the opening lines open up. But yeah, hopefully Melissa kind of helps out in terms of what's going on. The GOAT says, need to figure out how to approach this year's MLB season as last year's was very rough. Yes. So, there's definitely something that I would say in terms of a trend. And honestly, if you're betting Major League Baseball this year, I don't mind this strategy. Now, I can't do this strategy because of my job, but I would definitely bet baseball from the beginning of the season until All-Star break or until like July 4th. And then honestly, once you hit the 4th of July, I would just take the rest of the baseball season off until the postseason and give yourself the whole month of like a month and a half of July and August to recharge the batteries and get ready for college football season. Or, obviously still bet your UFC weekend fights and your big tennis plays, right? At least for pregame betting. If you wanted to bet baseball live, totally cool with that. One tip for those of you that woke up early this morning with me, if you want to bet baseball live, all you really need is a Caesars account. That's it. So if you have a Caesars account, you're in great shape. But yeah, things get significantly tougher as the season goes on. And the biggest reason, in my opinion, is because books have a lot more data on the current season and what's going on. And, that's kind of really where I look at it. And you're going to have just a lot easier success early on in the season. So, definitely going to be making a baseball video that's dropping on OddsJam's channel, maybe one from my channel as well. Though my most recent video I dropped on Monday, guys, talked a lot about pitcher strikeouts and giving an odds range and how I like to attack FanDuel. So, if you want to look for those specific ranges, check out that video. Came out on Monday. All right, we'll pull up the arbitrage as well for my arbitrage people. Don't want to forget about them. So, as we mentioned, if we really just wanted to focus on alternate markets or main markets here, that's what I would do. Hey, Hard Rock and Bet365, or just Bet365 and Caesars. This looks really good for a first half money line. Puck line tonight, Bet365 and MGM. This is a mainline market. It's slightly one puck off or one goal off the main line, but Bet365 and MGM. Over 2% edge ARB. You try to get down as much money as you possibly can on this, So, even if you're limited on BetMGM, you're probably only going to be able to wager maybe like $115. That's what they typically let me do. But you could still make like $3.50, betting like $35 on the Penguins and $115 on MGM. Like $3.50 out there lying around. I'd go grab that. Chi-Town, what's going on? Good morning to you, my friend. No problem, Melissa. Glad that I helped. I mean, the hard part with baseball, it's not so much baseball. It's just once you get past, if you guys are new, if this is your first year of sports betting or first time really hanging out with me, obviously welcome in. Appreciate you hanging out with me. Basically, once the first round of the NBA playoffs is over, you start to notice like, oh shit. Because there's like half the teams are in the playoffs now. We go from like whatever, 8. And that's after the opening now, like preliminary playoffs. We go from 8 to 4, and then there's like, there's not many games going on. And then, 8 to 4, and then, you guys get what I'm saying. Brain's not working. But we get to the second round of the NBA playoffs, things dry up. So once we get to the NBA finals, it's just baseball. And yes, WNBA. And God, man, I got to figure out something for the WNBA. Because it just hasn't been going very well on the WNBA for me last couple of seasons. Almost would rather live bet it. The WNBA, guys, is going to be like, since we're talking about summer sports, going to be a lot like college basketball, but even different in terms of, this is where Salt in the edge zone is like a huge, this is like his go-to is betting WNBA main lines. because you're going to see like the 140.5 to like 146.5 total. You're going to see books like all over the place on spreads and totals with the WNBA, and it's really difficult to know who's the source of truth because they're all just kind of all over the spot. So there's definitely opportunity in the WNBA. And if I were you and you were trying to like model something, I would actually focus more on the WNBA than Major League Baseball in terms of ease, how easy it is to beat. But in terms of like liquidity, baseball is going to have more liquidity. Let's look at some mainline markets. Let's take a look at college basketball. We'll kind of bounce around a few different things. And let's just go to all mainline markets. And for the EV Formula Builder, let's just kind of set this up for a little bit of this. See what we got. Irish, there you go. Bet the unders for WNBA. Not a bad tip at all. So, looking at college hoops today. It is a Thursday. Thursdays are they're okay for college basketball. We do have Michigan State and Purdue. I'm just checking the top 25. That's the big matchup tonight. Over on Peacock. By the way, maybe I'm the only one. I got this from Pardon My Take. Shout them out. I love this. I still call it on the cock. Everything's on the cock. Shows you even at 37 where my maturity level is. So for college basketball, we don't have a lot of top 25 matchups, just Purdue and Michigan State. But we do have a lot of games going on today. And this is one of those days where we have a lot of smaller conferences in play. So, for main markets, guys, you won't see first half totals or first half spreads over here, but we will see some different plays. Poly market, $83, Michigan State plus 7.5. Don't overthink it. Just go bet this. This looks really good. Same with like Profit X, right? New Mexico State, $43, $19 on Northeastern William and Mary. Like all these, I would go bet. UNC Asheville, thinking about maybe if BetOnline had this at -101, but not the case. Yeah, I got the boost there, Irish. That's a good point. On DK, appreciate you letting me know about that because I'll just go log into DK and I'll hit that up. Let me go over there. Take a look. Something I started doing yesterday, or last 2 days, I should say a little bit, was I started live betting some NBA player props on DraftKings, just a little bit. And it's going pretty well. All right, so for this profit boost on DraftKings, guys, don't forget about it. Michigan State plus 7.5 with this boost. I'm waiting for the boost to pop up because I claimed it. Any single or SGP bet today? Yeah, I'll take this all day long. I'm just kind of waiting for I'm waiting for it to pop up. DraftKings, apply the boost. There we go. Took a minute. $25 max wager. We can get this at plus 120 odds. Okay, so that's where I'm going to throw this down at, guys. So there we go. So with this boost, obviously it's a very EV edge play. Michigan State plus 7.5, 30% boost. If you guys want to put this on a parlay, I understand, but I'll grab that right here. And we're really getting on DraftKings now. I'm getting this at plus 120 odds. Obviously, if you get this at plus 120, that's about an 8% EV edge play. Aaron asks, how was your NFL season profit-wise? Interesting question, Aaron, since the NFL's been past us. But since the season's over, I don't know, but it wasn't great. Definitely was not like 2024, 2025 season, which was awesome. This past season was not very good. To be fair, I wasn't betting as much any NFL anytime touchdown scores as I was. But I know it wasn't fantastic. And I don't know how profitable it was, if at all. But haven't checked that out. Let me know, though. How'd it go for you, man? Master, prediction plays. So one thing I will say, Master, good question. I have all of the books selected. And And let me type in DraftKings to make sure the predictions is, yeah, it's available for me. So we do have all books selected. So when I'm scrolling through, I'll take a look specifically, but when I'm scrolling through these plays, if there was an edge on the DK predictions market, that logo would pop up. It's kind of like that teal green, darker green, like Profit X. So at least for college basketball, not seeing much. Always get interested with Charleston and Hampton. It's not terrible. So lower edge play. Ooh, Pinnacle just moved too. Okay. So we'll take a look at that for other markets. Appreciate you asking, man. But at the moment, I'm definitely have them selected. They're just not popping up. And would love to hear from you, man, as well, or anyone else just using kind of like that's using underdog predictions, DraftKings predictions, or Fanatics predictions. Like, how's that been going for you guys? How's it been going? So I'm going to come over here to this Charleston and Hampton play. I think this is a very good play. Something else, guys, I love to do with college basketball totals. Open this up and just like look at like, well, where's Bookmaker? Where's Bet Online? And Bookmaker's at 141. We're getting this over 140.5. Obviously, if we want this to win, we need 141. So I'm okay with taking it. Probably can't wager a lot on FanDuel on this play. But we'll give it the old college try. Wow, no, never mind. They're going to let me bet $468. That's more than I thought. All right, so let me take a look at this play because it's obviously a low edge play, but Pinnacle just moved. So I think we're just going to go in probably to make either 100. I'm limited on FanDuel, so I don't really care. So I'm just going to go in and make $100 right now. I'm in on that. So Charleston and Hampton over 140.5. Again, I'm on 10% limits on FanDuel. I can only bet 10%. I definitely have almost $1,000 in this account. I want to save it for a lot of NHL goal scorers, but there we go. Woo! Excuse me. That was a wicked sneeze. Shot down. I'm sorry, man. You have to call in tonight to see if you have jury duty. I remember, and for me, guys, not to preach at all, but the Lord works in mysterious ways. I remember that the only time I had a jury duty summons or got it in the mail when I was back in Pennsylvania, I got a letter in the mail at the end of February 6 years ago today. So it was like end of February 2020. And I got a letter in the mail saying, hey, you're going to need to come to jury duty. And then obviously, we kind of know what happened the next month in 2020. And I got to skip out on jury duty there, which was obviously not great because of COVID, but if I'm not upset that I had to skip out. So let's take a look at some NBA mainline markets and see what we got for college hoops. So let's kind of reset this. And we'll pull up these alts, but we'll move this to just mainline markets. And again, for sportsbooks, we'll select everything. So if you see a DraftKings pick, predictions or Fanatics predictions, it's going to be here. Oh, that's an early game? Is it? That's why. Sorry, I wasn't even paying attention to that. That's why they let me bet so much on this Hampton play. Let me double check that. Yeah, because the game starts at 11 a.m. Eastern. Oh, snap. I was like, because normally we're betting on college basketball. Like, they're not going to, like, FanDuel's only going to let me bet, like, $50 or $100 sometimes. But, guys, pardon me, didn't even realize we do have one game today, and that's the game that we bet that's starting at 11 a.m. Eastern. We also have Rhode Island and St. Bonaventure that starts at 5 p.m. Eastern, but we do have an early game today. So that's nice. Damn, maybe I should have bet a little bit more based off that line movement, but that's okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know. I don't want to get into a hot topic of like, your civic or civil duty as a citizen of this country to pay attention, but jury duty is a tough one. Haven't had to serve it. Got out of it because of COVID last time. So we'll see if Arizona comes gunning for me for some jury duty. If you're going to do it for me, Arizona, could you do it at least in like June or July when it's like 115 degrees outside and you don't want to be out there? Because weather right now in Arizona, guys, if you need a vacation, come to AZ. Weather is mint. Absolute mint. 82 to 85 degrees right now. It's fantastic. Okay, so some total plays here. Taking a look at this bookmaker, like, hey, I wouldn't mind taking a look at the Pacers and the Hornets. But again, I love to check out bookmaker to see like what they're taking. If we're being recommended by Pinnacle to bet this, you can see Penny's taking $3,000 on this market. Typically, Pinnacle takes more money on NBA markets than bookmaker, but just going to double check here really quick. Over 227.5. It's probably minus 109. Shout out bookmaker with their reduced juice. We love that. It is minus 109. And they're taking $3,200. So no, I would not attack this play on bookmaker because they're taking the same amount. Or Prime, if you live in the U.S. That, you know, if you're in the U.S. and you have Prime, a couple of states in the Midwest have it. So Hard Rock, obviously, they just changed their lines. Ooh, did Bracco? Not enough for Bracco. I was looking at that play right there, but not really. So, MGM, Lakers, minus 7.5. If you wanted to, take a minus 6.5. But MGM, even on a limited MGM account, guys, you might be able to still bet $50, $100. Or, you know, they threw the limits on you where you can only bet like $5. But hit that up. And then the Hornets and Rockets in these plays here, guys, $45, $21, $290 on ProfitX. I know it's a 1% edge, but again, it's the NBA. At this particular time, it's the most popular sport that you can bet on right now. So there's a lot of interest. And because of that interest, more money floods those markets, and, you know, there's just less of an edge because of the popularity. So check that out. There you go. There you go, Irish. So, yeah. So that's where I'll kind of keep it with jury duty. But interesting. In Chi-Town, I don't know, man. Fingers crossed. Hopefully you don't have to go because it's always tough. But really interesting. Master says, every prediction play have insane liquidity. So, Master, that's where I would take a look at this, Master, if I were you. So let's just go through an example, right? And we'll use the sharp money tool. So let's say you're looking at Ottawa on the money line, okay? Irish, anyone that has circa, maybe this is a play for you, right? So if you're seeing the Senators right now, and there's $13,000 here, and then there's $17,000 on ProfitX. Someone's posted this on Novig. Someone's posted this on ProfitX. So if you add these two together, we're looking at 30 grand on the Senators on the money line today, okay? Pinnacle's taking $5,000. And this is, I'm specifically speaking to you, Master, or anyone else out there that is kind of, you know, all you have is the prediction markets to use. So maybe someone on DraftKings prediction markets has posted, you know, $25,000 on the Senators money line. And they're offering you to bet the Red Wings at minus 140. Well, that means that that person wants the Senators at minus 140. If they're offering the Red Wings at plus 140, they want the Senators at minus 140. So if you're like, okay, this person wants the Senators at minus 140, like how realistic is that price? And what you're going to notice here is like, well, they want a better price than the rest of the market, but it's not too crazy. But look at this from the flip side. They're offering the Red Wings at plus 140. Well, plus 140, you can't get plus 140 on the Red Wings. I would love to get a plus 140 on the Red Wings. Like plus 138 on Bet Openly. Oh, okay, plus 143, excuse me. And no VIG and 4CX. So I stand corrected. You can, all right? So in my opinion, this person, if they're on DraftKings predictions and they put up 25 grand on the Red Wings at plus 140 and they want the Senators at minus 140, this is a very fair, realistic play. I'd be willing to bet this. So if you have a predictions market and you can't bet this, but maybe you have some offshore sports books, that's where maybe I would go to the offshore books and I would be willing to take a range on this play. So, you know, if you can get this at circa minus 143, awesome. But guess what? I could go over and get this over at FanDuel at minus 146 for 3 cents of a difference of a price, right? Caesars minus 145 and even DraftKings at minus 148. So maybe not a bad idea to check that one out. If we take a look at Tampa Bay, right? $5,000 here. Somebody wants them at plus 137. Now, somebody wants him at plus 143 for about 9K. Pinnacle's taking 5K right now. Someone's already posted 5K. So, over on Ballybet, Bet Rivers, Desert Diamond, Bet Parks, you can get this at plus 138 odds at a slightly better price, right? Or we could go over to another book like maybe a Caesars and get this at plus 130. So, Bet 105's at plus 126. So this is how, it takes a little extra deep diving when you're looking at so if you, for me yesterday, if you want to see a great example, go back and look into the live stream, fast forward to the college basketball when I'm on the Plus EV tool, you're going to see the top play was Loyola, Maryland on Parlay Market, and someone posted $235,000. So what did I do? I went and bet the opposite and just found somewhere else because that's a ton of money. Now, let me know how that strategy works out, but we'll see. The sharp money tool, though, that's kind of it's kind of a sharp money betting type of strategy. A little bit less liquidity here in the Leafs. We're looking at plus 138, plus 147 for $7,000. You can get a pretty good price over on Ballybet. Also, Circa's at plus 138, right? So little things to look at here, guys, when it comes to this. But this Senators plays, that's a lot of money, and I would definitely look to hit this play up. Not stealing any more Irish. Appreciate that. Better discounts are up. We'll take a look at that one. Appreciate you sharing that with Circa. Good to know. Hopefully you can hit this play up. All right, so for the better discounts, let's go back to DFS really quick because I'd love to share a slip with you guys, especially if you're up with me early this morning. DFS, I'm just going to change this over to Power. And then for sports books, let's just look at better. Okay, KD, Jalen Suggs. Yo, we got some big old edges. Big old edges right now with Pinnacle. All right, so I'm just loading this up on my phone, and we got a Maxi, we got a Luka play, so we'll go Maxi. And then we'll go with KD on his assists. And then Jalen Suggs. This is the same game on the opposite side. Over 1.5 player-made threes. And $10 max wager, perfect entry. I'll share this link here with you guys. Or if you're just on your phone, you could go hit these plays up. You could do the KD on the points if you wanted to. But I'm cool with this. So let me view it. Nice. And then let me copy a link. I will save the other discount, guys, for later tonight for the stream. So I have definitely something to cook up on Better. But there's going to be a lot happening today on Better for sure. So let me throw this in here. And I can share it with you guys. But appreciate you guys tuning in. And man, we're going to have an action-packed evening stream tonight. It's going to be a lot going on. So much. All right, there's the link for Better for you guys that are here. Let's see if anything else has changed with Dabble or Parlay Play or DraftKings Pick 6. Ooh, got a lot of Parlay Play. All right, cool. Well, you have my attention now, Parlay Play. No doubt about that. So we have some edges here on Clifford under on assist, Russ over PRA. So we got some Kings Mavericks plays. Under 3.5. KD, I'll take his points. All right, and then I could do Russ. I could do Clifford. Let's see if anything's popping on FanDuel for Parlay Play. Not really. Got some stuff, though, for Dabble. Mark Williams just popped up. Oh, Mark Williams. Over 7.5 rebounds. No promos. Let's go 3-pick entry. All right, guys. So I just got this in. excuse me. 3-pick entry here. You can go McCollum if you want to as well. So I grabbed the KD over on points. I don't know how to share the link. I'm in for $50. KD over, Clifford under, Mark Williams over. There's a payout boost special on Embiid, but in De'Aaron Fox. I don't know though how solid those boosts are. But DVigging to Pinnacle, solid play right here on parlay play. Great. Looks like that KD play. That's down here. It's about 2% now, so they changed their odds. Looks like they changed their odds. But just grab one of these plays. If you want to grab a 4-pick slip, do that. Or if you just want to rock a 3-pick, cool with me. Williams, Clifford, McCollum, great place to go. Yeah, Melissa, good question. I mean, for someone who's constantly on the go and can't dig too much into each play, would you suggest maybe just camping on the arbitrage tool and taking EV bets that are arbs or sharp books? Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a great idea. Also, if you wanted to use the low holds tool, your arbitrage tool is going to be your top strategy. And then the next best strategy would be taking a low holds play. And honestly, when it comes to the low holds tool, I would focus more main markets for low holds. You could find it for player props, but with player props, we want to be finding plays at least on OddsJam that are like 8, 10 cents or 5, 6, 7, 8%. So for the low holds tool, main markets would be a great strategy as well. And we will be getting back to the low holds tool at some point this summer because things really dry up. Now, maybe not. We got the sharp money tool this year. Little different. Let's go over to, we're looking at Pinnacle. Cool. What else do we got here? Dabble, okay. Cooch, under on his points. All right, under 1.5. Dabble, we could go with that if we wanted to. Again, Billy C, follow me over at Dabble. I don't mind taking that play. It's fine. Let's go over to the play section. NHL. Points. Cooch. All right. And then let's go over to FanDuel to see what they have. Because other than that, Jesper Bratt play. Sadiq Bey. Okay, I like the Sadiq Bey play. And so we're looking at Bey over on his rebounds in the Pelicans game. Cool. And then I don't want to play that Ehlers play. Just not for FanDuel. Not trusting them as the sharp. Luka, points over 30. Okay. All right, guys. 3-pick entry. 6x payout. 1 under, 2 overs. I just submitted it on Dabble. Follow me at Billy C. All one word, all caps, Billy C. You can copy that slip and copy it verbatim. Yesterday on Dabble, Dorian Finney-Smith Jr. didn't play, and we hit our other 2 picks. So I turned my $25 into $75 total, so $50 profit. So it's pretty nice. Okay. For myself, guys, I'm not hiding NHL goal scores from you right now. I just don't bet them this early in the morning. So I like to wait until later. I would say 1, 2 o'clock Eastern, right? So I don't really focus at all on NHL goal scores this early in the morning. But that's from a college stream. I know it's a little bit shorter, but we'll be back on tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern with a lot to unpack. And very, very pumped, very excited. So again, if you have any questions, great questions. Appreciate everyone that was hanging out in the chat. OGs, D-Gens, and just the regulars that are non-OGs and D-Gens. Always appreciate you. We'll be back on tonight, 6 o'clock Eastern, doing it again, guys. Otherwise, have a strong Thursday morning. We'll talk to you guys this evening. Take care.